Hey guys, I'm Rainey Romero. I'm here chatting with attorney Roberto Anton with the lovely law firm. So Roberto, we get a lot of questions about undocumented persons and kind of how they go about filing a claim. So if you can kind of debunk a couple questions for me. So can folks still pursue a claim if they're undocumented?
Absolutely. Regardless of the kind of claim that you have, the fact that you are in this country and something bad happens to you means that the law is going to provide you a remedy. It doesn't matter if you're here, if you have papers or you don't have papers. None of that is going to have a bearing on whether or not someone else harmed you and they owe you something for the harm they caused you.
Okay. Good tip. Now, sometimes the question that will pop up is, say they don't have a driver's license and they want to file a claim, but they're worried that they may then get a ticket for not having a driver's license once they file the claim. Is that something that happens?
I would say that I've never seen that happen before. The way this works is that if you're not ticketed at the scene, you're not getting a ticket. That's basically how that works. And even if you get a ticket, you should still pursue whatever claim you may have. Talk to an attorney. Maybe you have a case, maybe you don't. But what you don't want to do is allow the fact that you're undocumented to prevent you from pursuing whatever recovery you may have coming to you.
Right. And this applies to all things, whether it's a car accident, workers' comp, whatever it applies for all that.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, what if you're pulled over and you do not speak English? What happens in that case?
A lot of times, law enforcement agencies have individuals on hand who speak Spanish. They'll have Spanish-speaking officers, and they might call that person in to communicate with the individual. But by that same token, outside of certain specific circumstances, such as, for example, DUIs, where an important component of the DUI stop is that you be given certain information in a manner that you be informed of your rights pursuant to that DUI in a manner that you can understand.
Right.
Other than that, I think generally they'll just give you the ticket. Where it becomes necessary to be able to effectively communicate with someone is when you start getting stuff like, besides the DUI, being arrested. Because if you're going to be Mirandized, where they're going to read you your rights, you have the right to remain silent, all that kind of stuff. The whole purpose of them reading you your rights is that there's a case decided back in the 60s that basically said that people had a right to be informed of what their actual substantive rights are pursuant to an arrest. And if you don't give that person their rights, if you don't read them their rights or tell them about their rights in a manner that they're going to understand, that's going to potentially create problems.
Right. Okay, makes sense. Now, I think another commonly asked question or misconception is if someone is injured and they're undocumented, and they don't have social, they don't have medical insurance, they can still be treated, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. If you are hurt, would you say in a workers' comp situation?
Yeah, even a car accident.
Or in a car accident. If you don't have insurance, you're not documented, you don't have a driver's license, you're still entitled, or could be entitled, I should say, to some compensation. If the accident was not your fault, you're absolutely entitled to be compensated for not only the value of your vehicle, but also whatever injuries occurred to you, the medical treatment that was required to get you back up to whatever maximum improvement is possible, and your pain and suffering along the way, and any lost wages. I mean, there's a whole constellation of money that's available to people who are harmed by others, but you got to call. You got to call an attorney, and you got to start documenting the claim immediately. The longer you wait, the harder it's going to be to recover anything.
Yeah. And feel free to call the lovely law firm. We're here to help you guys. And we have those that speak Spanish that are bilingual at the office, right?
Absolutely. If you are nervous about speaking to someone about a claim, if you are worried, just know that when you call us for legal advice, we are bound to keep your confidence. We cannot do anything that's going to worsen your position in society and the law. I mean, that's what attorney-client privilege is all about, and that's what the duty attorneys owe to anyone who comes to them seeking legal advice. So if you would feel more comfortable speaking to a Spanish speaker, You can ask to speak to me, Roberto Anton, or you can ask for one of our Spanish-speaking paralegals, of which there's a couple.
Yeah, perfect. And we say this a lot, as far as tips for car accidents and what you should do, but just to reiterate, since we're chatting about car accidents, what are some tips that people need to know if they get in a car accident?
A lot of times, and this happens a lot with young people, someone will be in a car accident or any kind of other accident. They slip and fall, something falls on their head. I mean, there's about a million different ways that someone can get hurt that isn't their fault when they're just going about their life day to day. And the most important thing is that regardless of whether you feel okay in that moment, go get checked out. If you stub your toe somewhere, okay, maybe that's not the end of the world. But if you're at Walmart and some piece of merchandise falls on your head, maybe go get that looked at.
Yeah.
It may come to nothing, but the last thing that you want is to all of a sudden start feeling bad 2 or 3 days later, and then you go to the hospital or the urgent care, they discover something is wrong, and then when you make a claim against your insurance, their response is going to be, well, how hurt could you possibly be if you didn't go immediately? Mind you, they understand that sometimes it takes a little while for these injuries to manifest.
Right.
But the insurance company's job, literally what their job is internally, is to try to not pay on claims or pay as little as possible. And if they can get any kind of a wedge between you and your money, they're going to use it. So protect yourself. Go get checked out, get an x-ray, get an MRI. I know it's a pain in the butt to go sit in that waiting room, especially when it doesn't look like you are about to fall apart. They're going to not prioritize you, but you owe it to yourself to make sure that everything's okay and that you pursue the maximum possible recovery that you can for your body and also for your wallet.
Yeah, good. Well, thank you so much, Roberto, for your tips on that.
All right. Y si tienen una pregunta con respecto a un reclamo o un pleito, por favor no tengan duda con llamarnos en la oficina o pasar. Nuestra dirección es 1053 London Street en Myrtle Beach y nuestro número es 843-839-4111.
There you have it. Of course, if you have any more questions, you can visit us on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. We're everywhere that you consume your media. Also, you can go to justiceslovely.com or stop by the office and see us. Thanks for watching.
When life gets ugly, justice is lovely.